If your life has no joy in it and you're just constantly suffering, then maybe you need to change your beliefs. Let me explain. Hey guys, it's your girl Tanasia, and I'm back with another video. And today we're going to be talking about 4 different secrets to better your life. And I'm not going to take credit for these secrets. I'm going to base it off a book that I recently read not that long ago. And it's called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's such a great book. It seems small, but it has a lot of information in it. And it just hits on big critical points. Don is basically talking about how we have these beliefs that are self-limiting that causes us to not enjoy our life and not to be at peace and not to be happy. But he's explaining to us 4 different methods that, or as I should say, 4 different agreements that can help us better our lives. The first one is be impeccable with your word. And what I mean by being impeccable with your word is basically knowing the meaning behind what you're saying, right? Because as humans, we use words to communicate, to express ourselves, to get our point across. So we really have to understand what we're saying to ourselves and what we're saying to others. And this way just seems so simple, but it's one of the hardest things to do because we're so quick as humans to basically say, oh, I'm not good at something, or just force negative words into our brain. And we don't understand sometimes, or sometimes we forget that we manifest what we speak. Sometimes without reflex, you already have that embedded in your brain. Those are your actual beliefs about yourself or about someone else or about something in the environment around you. Which basically leads me to a specific quote that Don basically spoke about. And he basically said, our words are basically a sword with 2 edges. Your word can create the most beautiful dream, or your words can destroy everything around you. And I feel like this is really important to understand and to remember, because our words are like a double-edged sword. You can use it for good or you can use it for the worst, the bad, right? So let's just make this simple. Let's just slow down a little bit, right? Let's think of our brain, our mindset as soil, right? Fertile soil. And of course, with wanting to plant seeds. And in this case, seeds are going to be the words that we use in our vocabulary when we're speaking to ourselves and speaking to others. Because we want to water it and create plants, right? So let's say we're using the good side of the sword that we talked about. To say, I keep telling myself every day, I'm a smart student, I know how to study, don't be too hard on yourself, just giving myself good words of affirmation. If I keep saying that to myself, that's going to be my mindset about myself, right? If I'm telling my friends and I'm encouraging them to do what they like to do, and encouraging them to try new things, those are positive words. Those are positive seeds that I'm planting into their brain as well as my brain, because that's what I think about them and I want them to think that about themselves. But let's just think about the other side of the sword, where most of us usually are at. We use negative words to talk about ourselves or to talk about others, and we manifest that and put that in the air. We say, oh, we're not good at this, we're not worthy of this, we don't belong here. And you know what? You're going to believe that. You're going to manifest that into your life. And really think that before you actually say something, because you don't want to manifest the wrong thing out into the world. But moving on to number 2. The second secret or the second agreement is don't take anything personally. I feel like as humans, we take a lot of things personally. I can speak for myself. I take a lot of things personally. It's just us being human, right? But we have to be better with it. If we're taking everything personally, we're not going to really accomplish a lot of things, or we're just always going to kind of feel sorry for ourselves, or kind of always feel very emotional about things that sometimes we don't even need to be upset about or bothered about. You got to remember one main thing. If someone's being mean to you and they're going out their way and being spiteful, because that's how people are, right? Hate to say, but that's just how the world is. If you're just doing your own thing and someone's just going their way to just try to bother you, it has nothing to do with you. It's probably something that they're personally going through their journey, and they're projecting on you, and you just gotta not take it personally, right? I'm not saying this is easy, but it's everyday practice, and it'll be easier and easier to just kind of block things out. because I get it. It's hard, especially just, you growing up as a child. Maybe you heard things from your parents, maybe you heard things from your friends or your teachers saying that you can't do something, and then now you're not following your passion because someone told you couldn't do something. Like, that's crazy. If we just block them out, and if we take that risk to try it anyways, and if you find out that you can't do something, then okay, that's it, then you can't do it. But you can find a way to figure it out or work to get better at it, right? Don't let somebody's words, who are speaking negative words toward you, affect you because you're taking it personally. Now we're gonna move into number 3. The third secret, or the third agreement, is basically don't assume anything, right? Do not assume anything. And this is a huge one because I could personally say that I assume a lot. And as humans, we assume a lot. Assuming can end a lot of things, can lead to bad things, because you don't know if it's true, what you're saying or assuming, and you don't know if it's false, what you're assuming. We as humans make up a lot of stuff in our head, right? Instead of just simply asking if we don't understand something. Just ask. Just ask. If you don't understand something, if something's not clear, you want to know an answer, just ask. For example, let's talk about it. Let's say you eat with your coworker every day in the break room. You guys chat, you talk about family, you talk about things that's going on in your life. And then maybe one day they come, sit with you, they don't say anything, they don't speak to you, they just end up leaving. Instead of you maybe giving them their space and then maybe asking them, was anything wrong? So you can get an answer. You might just assume in your head, oh, is this something that I did? Like, you gotta understand, if you're assuming, like, not everything is about you. Not everything is about you. If you're unclear, if you want to know why that person wasn't talking to you, just ask. Then now we're going to move on to the last agreement, or the last secret, the fourth secret. Always trying and doing your best, and this is really important because this involves consistency, right? We're going back to being impeccable with your word, not taking anything personally, not assuming anything. If we're trying our best not to do any of these things, our life is going to change a lot. You're going to see results. And one thing I want you to remember, and I have to remind myself as well, every day is not going to be your best, right? You're not going to have the same energy that you had last week or the day before. There's a lot of things that happen in our life that we cannot control. We can't guilt trip ourselves in our mind saying that we didn't do good enough, because we did. If we're trying our best, right? Like I said, our energy level isn't as great as it was the day before. Just do the best that you can still. Don't try to overdo it, and don't try to do any less, because when you overdo something, then it's like, it's not gonna work out. You're just gonna stress yourself out and just complicate things more. And if you do too little, then you're gonna have that what ifs, and we don't wanna have what ifs and regret thinking, right? And I'm not saying that this is just all just gonna click in 3 days. Like, you're gonna try every day. That's why this is important, by trying your best each day try, because you're going to assume, right? Let's just be real. You're going to assume things. You're going to take something personally. You're not going to be impeccable with your words, and you're not going to do your best. But if you do your best, then you'll just start over each day, the next day, the next day, the next day, every time you mess up. It's just simple. And the more that you do that, the more you're consistent, the more discipline that you have, then the less and less those mistakes are going to happen, and then you're going to see your whole life really transform. So those were the 4 secrets, the 4 agreements on how to better your life. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from me, definitely hit that subscribe button at the bottom. And if you want a copy of this book, I will put a link down below. Comment if you can relate to these 4 agreements, or how this book might help you. Comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.